This video was inspired by an interaction that I had on Instagram where someone has criticized me for not being positive enough. And this interaction has rather annoyed me. And I will get into the topic of why I think just be positive is horrible for our mental health. But the positive side of this is that I now get to do a whole video about bad advice or bad career advice that career gurus promote. So yes, this video is about the worst career advice that career gurus give. And probably the list is not complete. So if I've forgotten something, which is likely going to be the case, then please let me know in the comments below and we can have a discussion about this. And for everyone who is new to this channel, my name is Stephanie, I run Career Conversations, and the whole point of this channel is to amplify the voices of people who have a passion project that they want to use to add value to the world. And I help you with that by, on the one hand, giving you success mindset videos like this one, and also, videos about the worst career advice career gurus give. And I show you how you can find an audience who is going to resonate with your message. So in case you're interested in that, then be sure to subscribe. I will have a watermark now, which is new, and it's right here. At the bottom will be the watermark, so you can subscribe while the video is still on full screen. So please do that. So before we get into this whole Instagram discussion thing, let me read out a meme to you which made me laugh so much because now with a little bit of distance it is so clear that it is bad advice. So the quote of the meme is, "The minute you have a backup plan, you have admitted that you are not going to succeed." So the quote is by Elizabeth Holmes, and maybe you know her. She is founder and CEO of Theranos, which is now one of the most famous fraud cases in the history of biotech. So in a nutshell, she ran a biotech company that was claiming that they have developed a test that can measure about 30 different blood parameters with just the blood from the tip of the fingers. But it turned out in the end that whenever they were showing investors how their product or their machine has worked, they've been taking the blood of people, then have been showing them around the lab, and then in the background they have been running lots of independent tests. And the test results that the investors were getting were never from the machine, but they were performed by lab technicians. So it was very, very clear that the machine was not working. So this made me think, if she had had a plan B, probably she would have not had to commit fraud, because then she would have just taken a different lane. And I see very, very similar advice also promoted by, for instance, Tony Robbins, who keeps telling the story about Vikings who used to burn their boats before they were conquering an island, because this way there was no way back. So the only way for them to survive was actually to conquer the island. So there was only a way forward. And he's saying you should be doing exactly the same thing. You should be putting all of your, how do you say that in English? All of your horses, is to put all of your eggs into one basket and then hope for the best and do your best that your project is going to work. And I see several other career gurus also promoting this advice. And the problem with this advice is that they're usually only showing those people who have made it, and they are only showing people who are successful in the end. They're never showing those people that have put all of their eggs into one basket and are now sleeping again on their mother's sofa. So my counter advice is, or my counterpoint is, that your idea is not going to work only because you really, 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 really want it to work. There needs to be more, and there are factors that you cannot anticipate. So we need to have a plan B, and we need to have a certain flexibility. So don't put all of your eggs into one basket, counterintuitively of how appealing it might sound. And this brings me to my next advice, or to my next bad advice. And actually those two go very much in hand. The first advice is already suggesting that you should focus on only one thing and really, really only work on this one and not have any flexibility to do something else. And the next one is really literally suggesting that only because you really want something, you can get it. And it is called the law of attraction. And by the way, when I say attraction, it has nothing to do with dating. And I'm feeling a little bit strange for even having to mention this, because it is so clearly pseudoscience that I'm almost feeling like maybe this is not relevant for my audience. So in case you're not interested, then skip forward to the next advice. In case you're interested, it is crazy how many successful entrepreneurs are actually promoting this and are saying that it works. It is one person that I'm really admiring who keeps mentioning the law of attraction again and again is Sunny Lenarduzzi. I see Oprah mentioning this quite a lot. I see a ton of people mentioning this. And I'm also seeing this on Twitter, popping up even in my Twitter feed. So amongst also my followers. And I am quite mind blown how this has blown up. So what is the law of attraction? People keep comparing it with gravity, but this is really not the case. So how they are explaining that it works is basically quantum mechanics. They are taking this one experiment where researchers were looking at electrons, and the electrons were behaving differently depending on whether the researchers were looking at the electrons or paying attention to them or not. So this is basically what they are suggesting, that with our willpower we can physically manifest changes in in the real world. And additionally, they are saying that like attracts like. So since they're saying, well, emotions are energy in motion, this is something that I'm hearing quite a lot, then we should put ourselves in the vibrational, emotional state of whatever it is that we want. And to simplify this a little bit, if we put ourselves in the vibrational state of a Ferrari, we are going to manifest a Ferrari. People are also saying it is just as easy to manifest a button as it is to manifest a castle. And this is really not me quoting some crazy looking people. It was like actual entrepreneurs, like Jess Lively keeps repeating this quite a lot. And she used to have a business podcast that I used to listen to quite a lot. So even if you didn't come across this advice yet, probably you will soon, because it is on the rise. And I would like to prepare you and make you aware of the flaws of this law. And when I say law, I mean myth. But what is really happening is, since you have been focusing so much onto whatever it is that you want, you're seeing more opportunities of how to achieve it, because you're believing that the universe is flowing it to you in ways that you are not expecting. And this brings us to my third worst career advice that career gurus promote. And this is just think positive. So it is very, very similar to the law of attraction, and it is sort of two sides of the same coin. And while the law of attraction believes or states that you can manifest whatever it is that you want by just putting your mind into the same vibrational state, just think positive suggests that you can be happy all the time, independent of your circumstances. And this mindset is very hip at the moment on Instagram, and you see tons of positive quotes of someone doing a yoga pose on the beach in front of the sunset, and some sort of "don't worry, be happy" sort of a quote. But the thing is, if you don't allow yourself to acknowledge the negative sides of your life, you are also denying yourself the chance to improve those. And of course, it is a very, very tempting mindset, because it is super uncomfortable to look at our own shortcomings and to look at where we might be able to improve, but don't, because maybe it is a very, very uncomfortable feeling that might be associated with improving. And unfortunately, our society is providing us with very, very, very effective tools to not feel our negative emotions, because it is so easy these days to numb ourselves by, for instance, watching or binge watching TV shows, or by drinking alcohol, or by shopping, or by binge eating, or there are a ton of other ways that people are numbing themselves. And of course, it is a lot more comfortable in the moment to not feel negative emotions, but those emotions tend to want to come through, and we need to numb ourselves more and more and more, and those things can finally manifest themselves in depressions. Or if we keep numbing them, they can also manifest in eating disorders or alcoholism. So maybe you've noticed that I've taken a month off, and I've actually taken this month off because I had a horrible migraine where I threw up as soon as I got up, and where I couldn't stand any light or any sound. And this has happened basically for this exact reason, because I was also numbing lots of negative emotions and kept working and kept functioning, until the point where my body was basically forcing me to lie down, not being able to listen to any podcasts, not being able to watch any YouTube videos, because sound and light was just, quite unbearable to me. So my body forced me to lie down and to acknowledge many things that I had suppressed. So yes, I've looked at many things that used to make me very, very uncomfortable, and it was not a nice process, I can tell you, but I have learned so much about myself, and actually I'm very grateful for this experience now. So I'm going to make a whole video about this whole subject and how to identify not only negative emotions, but also identify false beliefs. And there we'll get into a lot more detail in it. And the video is coming in 1 or 2 weeks, let's see. But as a quick advice that you can use already is now I let my mind flow every day for a few minutes and just, you can call it daydreaming, and just let my mind go to all the places that it wants to go. And I look at those emotions that come up without judging them. And I'm just trying to label them as accurately as possible as whatever emotion it is. It can be shame, it can be excitement, it can be all kinds of things. So if you're just doing this exercise, is already going to help you a lot to just acknowledge what is there, to just acknowledge what is coming up. So in case you're also interested in the video on how to identify false beliefs, then be sure again to subscribe to my channel with the watermark right here. Yeah, and of course, if you have more things to add to the list, I actually have quite a few more things that I could be adding to the list, but this video is already getting quite long. So also let me know in the comments if you are interested in another video like this, or give this video a like. And it is going to not only help me in the algorithm, I also know that this is the sort of video that is interesting for you, and I can produce the follow-up video with the other bad career advice that career gurus promote. Also, if you want some good career advice, then I suggest this video on how to pull yourself out of a motivation low. And is one of my best and most successful videos, so I'm sure that you are going to enjoy it. Also, as always, please follow me on Twitter as CareerConversa1 or on Instagram as Career Conversations for some more behind the scenes footage. And with this, I wish you a great day, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye!